Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're looking at something you use every single day, probably without even thinking about it.
Hmm.
We're talking about the global home care packaging market. And we've got some really fascinating insights from a report by Cognitive Market Research, the Global Home Care Packaging Market Outlook.
That's a good one.
Our mission today to really uncover the surprising scale, the trends in this industry, helping you understand what's actually be behind all those everyday products in your home. I mean, seriously, have you ever stopped to think about the bottle your laundry detergent comes in?
Mhm.
Or like the spray can for your air freshener?
It is easy to overlook, you're right. But it's far from mundane, really. This market home care packaging, it's actually a critical part of the global economy.
Huh.
And what's really interesting, I think, is how it reflects these much larger shifts happening, economic shifts, societal ones.
Like what?
Well, everything from how our cities are growing to what consumers want now, especially around sustainability. That's huge.
Okay. Okay, let's unpack this then. When we say home care packaging, what exactly are we talking about? Give us the clear definition.
Sure. So home care packaging refers specifically to the materials and the containers used for storing, protecting, and dispensing all sorts of household products.
Storing, protecting, dispensing. Got it.
Yeah, its core functions are pretty straightforward. Keep the product quality high, make sure it's safe, and make it convenient for the user.
So convenience is key. And beyond my laundry detergent bottle, what kind of products fall under this?
Oh, lots. Think about, well, all your cleaning and maintenance supplies, really.
Okay.
We're talking surface cleaners, dishwashing liquids, those air fresheners you mentioned, even insecticides.
Right.
And the packaging itself comes in, various forms. Plastic bottles are common, flexible pouches you see more now, aerosols, sometimes cartons.
Okay.
Essentially, any container holding a product designed to keep your home clean or fresh or pest-free.
That paints a really vivid picture. So next time you open your cleaning cupboard, every single one of those bottles, those pouches, that's a piece of this huge market.
Exactly, a multi-billion-dollar puzzle, as you say.
And speaking of scale,
Yep.
let's talk numbers. Just how massive is this market globally? What are the figures telling us?
The numbers are, well, frankly, they're staggering. The global home care packaging market was valued at over 94 billion US dollars back in 2021.
94 billion. Wow.
Yeah. And it's not slowing down. It's estimated to hit nearly $109 billion by 2025.
Okay.
And the projection out to 2033, it's expected to surge to almost $146 billion.
Whoa.
So that represents a compound annual growth rate, the CAGR, of about 3.7% over that forecast period.
Okay, that's really impressive growth. What's really behind this expansion? Is it just like more people buying more stuff, or are there deeper shifts driving these huge numbers?
It's a mix, but there are three primary factors really fueling this market's substantial expansion.
Okay, what are they?
First, and this is probably the most impactful one for the future, is the growing demand for eco-friendly packaging.
Ah, right. Sustainability.
Exactly. Consumers, companies,
Yeah.
they're increasingly pushing for sustainable solutions. And that's forcing a complete rethink of materials in this industry.
So it's not just what's inside the bottle. The bottle itself is becoming like a major selling point.
Precisely. What was once maybe just a cost center
Hmm.
is now a key way companies compete.
Mm-hmm.
Then you have increasing urbanization globally.
Okay, more people in cities.
Right. More people moving into cities means more households, often in denser areas.
Hmm.
And with that comes a greater demand for, packaged, convenient home care products.
Makes sense.
And finally, rising hygiene awareness, particularly in recent years, obviously.
Yeah.
That's directly led to increased consumption of cleaning products, household sanitation products,
Yeah.
all of which need effective packaging.
It's fascinating how something seemingly simple like a detergent bottle connects to these huge global trends: city growth, environmental consciousness, health. Now let's zoom in a bit. You mentioned the report breaks things down by region. That must give a really interesting look at where these billions are being spent and maybe why some areas are growing faster than others.
It does. And what's fascinating, as you might expect, is how these regional numbers sort of echo those global trends we just talked about.
So where's the biggest action?
Asia Pacific.
Yeah.
It's the undisputed leader here.
Okay.
It was already dominant in 2021, worth over $37 billion, and is projected to surge to over $61 billion by 2033.
61 billion, that's huge growth.
It's massive,
Mm.
nearly two-thirds increase in just over a decade. And this expansion is really spearheaded by economic powerhouses like China,
Right.
which is said to add over $6 billion to its market alone. And India, which is on track to nearly double its market size from about $5.3 billion to almost $10 billion.
Oh.
Japan is also a very significant contributor, going from about $8.3 billion to over $12.6 billion. And then you have strong growth in South Korea, Australia, Southeast Asia. It really highlights that impact of, rapid urbanization and growing middle classes in that region.
So Asia Pacific is clearly driving a huge chunk of this global growth. What about North America? Where does it sit?
North America holds the number 2 spot. It's projected to grow from around $27 billion in 2021 to over $40 billion by 2033.
Still very significant.
Oh, absolutely. The United States is, as you'd expect, the dominant force there. It's adding roughly $9 billion to its market value in that period, going from about $21 billion to over $30 billion. Canada and Mexico also add quite a bit to that total.
Okay. And Europe, I often think of it as a more mature market, but still a big player, I imagine.
Definitely a substantial market. It's projected to grow from nearly $18 billion in 2021 to over $25.5 billion by 2033. Germany, the UK, Russia are among the top countries there, along with France, Italy, Spain, and even smaller markets, across the Nordics, Western Europe, like Switzerland. They show steady contributions too.
Right. Now, shifting south, what's the picture in South America?
South America is another region showing really strong growth, actually. It's projected to expand from just over $6 billion in 2021 to almost $11 billion by 2033, so nearly doubling as well.
And who's leading there?
Brazil is a key player, expected to add well over $1 billion to its market value, going from roughly $2 billion to $3.5 billion. Argentina, Colombia, Peru, Chile, they're also contributing significantly to that growth.
Okay. And how about the Middle East and Africa? Are they catching these growth waves too?
They are, yeah. The Middle East has a growing presence, projected to increase from around $3.6 billion in 2021 to nearly $5 billion by 2033.
Okay.
Saudi Arabia, Turkey, the UAE are the main markets to watch within that region. And then finally, Africa. While it's currently the smallest regional market, it's projected for pretty robust growth. Expected to increase from just under $2 billion in 2021 to over $3.2 billion by 2033.
Still significant growth percentage-wise.
Exactly. South Africa and Nigeria are the leading contributors there, which sort of indicates that growing demand for, modern home care solutions as those economies develop.
Okay, so we've covered the globe, seen these huge numbers. What are the big takeaways for us from this deep dive? When all these numbers and trends kind of settle, what's the core message here?
Well, I think the core insights are pretty clear. First, this isn't just about, bottles and spray cans. It's a massive, multi-billion-dollar global industry. It's essential, and it's consistently growing.
Right. It's not going away.
No.
Yeah.
And second, its expansion is really deeply tied into these major macro trends we've talked about. It directly reflects shifts in global health awareness, how we live in our cities as they grow, and definitely our collective pivot towards a greener future, particularly through that demand for eco-friendly solutions.
Yeah, that sustainability angle seems crucial.
It really is.
Yeah.
And I guess the third takeaway is that while we often overlook it, home care packaging is actually a really dynamic sector with quite significant regional differences in growth and market size, as we saw.
It really does show how understanding something that seems so simple, like a bottle of dish soap, can actually reveal so much about these huge global economic forces and shifts in how we as consumers behave. It's a great example of how even the most common items connect back to these huge dynamic industries.
Well said.
And that just about wraps up our deep dive into the global home care packaging market. We really hope you've gained maybe a completely new perspective on those everyday items sitting in your cupboards at home.
And maybe a final thought to leave you with. Given that really significant demand for eco-friendly packaging, which the report flags as a key growth driver, it does raise an important question, doesn't it?
Well,
How much will future innovation in sustainable materials, in design, how much will that actually revolutionize the very products we use every day? And, maybe more interestingly, what new consumer habits might emerge from that shift? Will we see a world where maybe you refill everything, or maybe packaging just disappears somehow?
A fascinating thought to ponder, perhaps next time you're looking at your cleaning supplies. Thanks so much for joining us on the Deep Dive. Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today, we're jumping into something you might not immediately think of as, dynamic, the home care packaging market.
Right. Bottles, pouches, containers.
Exactly, for your detergent, your cleaners, all that stuff. But I promise you, there's a huge transformation happening here. We're going to dig into some surprising ways these everyday items connect to really big global trends.
It's fascinating, actually. Home care packaging isn't just a box or a bottle anymore. It's almost like a mirror reflecting economic shifts, supply chain issues, even that whole conversation between brands and consumers about sustainability.
Okay.
So our mission here is really to pull out the most important bits from the sources, the key takeaways, so you walk away with a solid understanding of this really fast-moving industry.
All right, let's get into it. A big starting point has to be that heightened focus on hygiene, cleanliness, especially after the pandemic, right? How did that actually change what manufacturers needed from packaging? Were they ready?
Well, it wasn't just about selling more products, though that definitely happened. The pandemic fundamentally changed what packaging means to people. It became part of feeling safe, being prepared at home.
Mm-hmm.
We saw this huge spike in demand surface cleaners, disinfectant sprays, toilet cleaners, you name it, and manufacturers, they had to pivot quickly.
So new designs.
Yeah, investing heavily in packaging that was secure, tamper-proof, definitely leak-resistant. Think stronger trigger bottles, tougher refill pouches, even those big bulk jugs for stocking up.
Right, because people were buying more at once.
Exactly. The goal was keeping the chemicals stable, sure, but also making it convenient when people were, loading up. Brands like Dettol, Lysol, they definitely redesigned things for multi-use and just sitting in the cupboard longer.
That makes sense. Safety and stability first. Okay, another massive shift online shopping. It just exploded.
Yeah.
How did that rewrite the rules for, say, a bottle of cleaner? I mean, I've definitely received leaky packages before.
You and many others. Yeah, e-commerce demands packaging that can really take a beating through the whole delivery chain. It needs to be, well, transport friendly, obviously,
Sure.
but also look good on a screen, be light enough to ship affordably, handle being dropped or jostled,
Shock resistant, yeah.
and stackable in warehouses and vans. It's a lot to ask.
So what's the solution? Smaller packages.
That's part of it. We're seeing a real move towards compact refill tubes or those little sealed sachets of concentrate. They're brilliant, actually.
Because they're lighter.
Lighter, smaller,
Wow.
so cheaper to ship. And, done well, they can even improve the whole unboxing experience for the customer, which is super important online. Brands like 7th Generation and Method are doing some really smart things here, designing specifically for that online journey.
Okay, so the package has to survive the trip. But once it's in our homes, we consumers want convenience too, right? What kind of features are becoming essential now?
Oh, totally. People expect things to be easy. We're talking easy pour spouts so you don't spill really good childproof caps for safety. One-hand pumps are great when you're trying to clean and hold something else. And resealable pouches like zip tops to keep things fresh or just contained. These aren't luxuries anymore. They're kind of expected.
And I keep seeing those tablet things or the super concentrated refills. Where do they fit in? Is that convenience or eco-friendliness driving that?
It's both, really.
Yeah.
That's the sweet spot. They save space in your cupboard, which is great, and they cut down on packaging waste.
Makes sense.
Think about Blue Land's cleaning tablets, for example. You just drop one in a reusable bottle with water. Super practical, space-saving, and it hits that eco-conscious note. Perfect for city living where storage is tight and people are, thinking more about their footprint.
Okay, so lots of innovation, lots of growth driven by these big shifts. But it can't all be smooth sailing. What are the big roadblocks? You mentioned regulations, costs.
Right. Despite the growth, there are definitely hurdles. A major one is the increasing regulatory pressure on plastics. Governments, especially in places like the EU, Canada, India, they're bringing in bans or taxes on single-use plastics.
So companies have to change.
They're being forced to pivot, yeah, towards things like bioplastics or recycled materials. You hear the term PCR, post-consumer recycled plastic, a lot now.
Giving old plastic a new life.
Exactly. Or even certified compostable materials. The problem is these alternatives. They often cost more to buy and to process.
So it's expensive to go green.
It can be, especially for smaller companies. They might not be able to afford that shift, which slows down innovation for them. Plus, the rules aren't the same everywhere, and sometimes it's not even clear what biodegradable really means in practice. It gets complicated.
That brings up a good point. If the greener stuff costs more, does that mean only the premium brands can really afford to switch? What about, regular budget-friendly cleaners?
That's a real tension. These sustainable materials, plant-based films, PCR, resins, compostable pouches, they do carry a price premium still. For the products where price is the main factor for shoppers, like basic floor cleaner or bleach,
Yeah, the everyday stuff.
it's hard to justify switching to a greener format if it bumps the price up too much. And this definitely hits smaller businesses harder. They just don't have the scale to negotiate prices or absorb those extra costs like the big guys do.
And okay, beyond the cost, there's a technical side too, right?
Wow.
How do you make sure these sometimes delicate eco-materials can actually hold harsh cleaning chemicals, acids, bleach, that kind of thing?
That is a huge challenge. It's a bottleneck for safety and innovation. Many home care products have ingredients, acids, surfactants, strong solvents, that can literally eat away at or degrade certain packaging materials, especially some of the eco-friendly ones.
So what's the workaround? Stronger eco-materials.
Sort of. Companies have to use things like advanced barrier coatings inside the package, or multi-layer films, sometimes even hybrid materials. But here's the trade-off. Often, those solutions make the packaging harder, or even impossible, to recycle.
Ah, so you solve one problem and create another.
Pretty much. It increases complexity, cost, and can hinder recyclability. It's a real headache, especially for the really tough products like bleach or heavy-duty degreasers, where containment is absolutely critical. It's this constant balancing act. Sustainability versus product integrity and safety.
Wow. Okay, so the market's growing, but it's dealing with these heavy weights, regulations, costs, technical challenges. Are there clear paths emerging to tackle these? What about those refill and reuse models you mentioned? Are they really catching on?
They absolutely are. Refill and reuse is definitely gaining momentum, especially with, eco-aware consumers and people in cities who like saving space.
So the concentrates and pods again.
Yep, cleaning concentrates, detergent pods, reusable spray bottles, they're key. We've even seen retailers team up with brands for in-store refill stations. And those zero-waste delivery services are popping up more too.
Interesting. Does it help the brands too?
Oh, definitely. It's not just about waste reduction, it builds loyalty. It's subscription models, reusable containers. It keeps customers connected to the brand long term. That's a big win for companies.
Okay, and you touched on technology earlier. Smart packaging. What does that actually mean for a bottle of cleaner? Is my detergent going to start talking to me?
Maybe not talking, but communicating, yes.
Yeah.
Smart and connected packaging is making inroads. Things like QR codes are common now, right?
Sure. You scan them with your phone.
Exactly. Or NFC tags like contactless payment uses. Even tiny IoT sensors. These can link you to how-to videos, dosage guides, track your usage, maybe even send you a reminder to reorder when you're running low.
Huh. That's actually useful.
Right. It enhances the whole experience for the user and for the brands. They get amazing data on how people are actually using their products, helps with marketing, logistics, planning. It's valuable stuff.
And pulling back to the sustainability angle, what about making the packaging itself easier to recycle, moving away from those complex layers you mentioned?
Yeah, there's a big push towards what's called monomaterial packaging, using just one type of plastic, basically.
Why is that better?
It's much easier to recycle in the existing systems. This push is partly driven by those EPR rules, extended producer responsibility, where manufacturers are being held responsible for their packaging after you throw it away.
So they have an incentive to design for recycling from the start.
Exactly. Companies are actively trying to ditch those multi-layer combinations or tricky composites. Instead, they're focusing on single types of plastic, like HDPE, PE, PP, the common ones that recycling facilities can handle more easily. Big players like Unilever, Procter & Gamble, they're piloting whole product lines designed specifically for recycling. It helps close that plastic loop and, frankly, looks good for their brand image, too.
So speaking of the big players, who are the main companies navigating this complex space? What are they doing specifically?
Definitely a competitive field. You've got major names like Amcor, Aptar Group, RPC Group, Silgan Holdings, Tetra Laval, DS Smith.
Heavy hitters.
Yeah, and their strategies involve serious investment. Take Amcor, huge global player. They're pouring money into not just automated factories, but also into developing better barrier technologies, stuff that lets them use lighter, maybe more sustainable plastics, even for aggressive chemicals.
Oh, okay.
Or Aptar Group, they're really innovating on those smart pumps and dispensing systems we talked about. So broadly, the strategy is investing in automation, advanced material science, and building out these digital ecosystems around their packaging. It's all about handling the complexity and meeting those shifting consumer demands at scale.
So wrapping this all up, what's the big picture for the future here? What are the key forces shaping where home care packaging is headed?
Looking ahead, I think it really boils down to a triad of forces. First, sustainability rules and mandates are just going to keep pushing material innovation. Second, that user-centered design focus, making things convenient, easy, maybe even enjoyable to use. And third, that digital integration connecting the package, the product, and the consumer in smarter ways. It's definitely an exciting space, moving really fast within the bigger packaging world. It shows how even small changes on a bottle can ripple outwards, affecting our lives and the planet.
It really is incredible when you stop and think about the amount of innovation and just sheer brain power going into something as basic as a bottle of cleaner. It definitely highlights how dynamic this market is, how quickly it's reacting to everything changing around us.
Absolutely. And maybe that leaves a question for you, the listener. Next time you grab that spray bottle or detergent jug, take a second look. Think about the journey it took, the trade-offs involved, the eco angle, the cost, the safety features. How do your choices, even small ones, nudge this whole industry in one direction or another?
That's a great thought to end on. Thank you for joining us for this deep dive into the surprisingly intricate world of home care packaging. Keep looking for the hidden complexities in everyday life.